And welcome back. I haven't done a what if in a while. I've been really behind on those. I apologize for that. So to compensate for that, we're gonna do a what if today. And it's not one that anyone has really suggested. It's just one I'm gonna throw out there. Because Star Wars Last Jedi came out last week, I figured why not just go with a Star Wars theme one? And let's go with one of the big ones. Not what if Vader didn't go to the dark side, but what if Obi Wan had succeeded in killing Vader? I mean, and well, not in the sense that what if Obi Wan has succeeded in killing Anakin? No. What if in A New Hope, Obi Wan went into that fight with Vader knowing he was going to lose, knowing he was going to basically sacrifice himself. But what if he legitimately saw the opening to actually kill Vader? What if that was the case? So right off the bat, they're in the throne, they're tapping, and Obi-Wan just, does the thing, and then Vader's about to swing. Obi-Wan, however, suddenly just, and then just suddenly gets realizations like, no, I can do this. It's like, perhaps no, it's time for him to end, and whatever. And we can still train Luke and all that stuff. So he uses the Force, blocks it, and then just skewers Vader through the chest, and then he falls never dead. The Emperor can sense this from however far away he is, and and even Obi-Wan can feel the rage of the Emperor just palpitating throughout the galaxy, just. And so now it's like, run, Luke, run! They are able to manage to escape. They hold on to Han's couch. It's Wedge. So they escape. Now, we cut to the Emperor vehemently pissed that Vader is now dead. But he's got guys in the back. Like, he's still probably got, like, Inquisitors or something like that. He's probably got some Force sensitives he can look into if he needs to. He would find someone to replace him, but he would be fuming that Lord Vader was serving all these years so well is now dead. Killed by Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan, they would take Luke to Alderaan. Actually, no, they'd take him to Yavin 4, because they can't take him to Alderaan. Taking the Yavin 4, and they would talk about it, and Obi-Wan says he can't join them for the speeder run. But they fight the Empire. Obi-Wan just reaches out to Luke, and they, help and do all that. Now, so Episode 4 really wouldn't change much except for the fact that Vader's dead. Actually, because Vader's dead, he wouldn't be there taking out X-Wing, so they'd actually have a better fleet and better chance of actually hitting that port. And Obi-Wan's alive. Now, we cut to Empire Strikes Back, where things are a little different. Obi-Wan's around. Obi-Wan's been training Luke. The Luke you see in Empire Strikes Back is not the same Luke. This is a stronger Luke. This is a more powerful Luke. This is a more confident Luke. Yeah, he's still probably rambunctious and maybe a little hot-headed, but that's just part of who he is. Impulsive, I guess, is another term for it. But yeah, but that's just who he is. That's always what Luke's been. But at the same time, Obi-Wan's realizing there's not much else I can teach him, and he's still so brash, so impulsive. It's like, Luke, it's time for you to go and do your training. So yeah, it's like, well, you have been training, and he's like, no, you must go. It's time for you to go learn from Yoda, the Jedi Master who trained me. So Luke agrees, and he makes arrangements. They part ways. Now, here's a big thing: is that Vader was the one who pointed out that the Rebel base was on Hoth. Vader dead. Now, maybe there's another guy who was there, but I don't think he would be as keen on the fact that, hey, the Rebel base is probably on Hoth because this droid got destroyed. So, yeah, for a good while, the Rebel base on Hoth goes unnoticed. They're just, whatever. Whatever. And, yeah, Luke goes and trains with Yoda for a good long while. Now, I mean, he finds Yoda. That situation probably goes about the same. However, Yoda is more willing, I think, to train Luke, simply because for the fact that he's been training a lot with Obi-Wan. And he's a bit more level-headed, a little bit more calmer, and a little more patient, so he's able to listen to reason a little bit better. So they're training, and Yoda's going through all the ropes with him. He meets his failures, all that, blah, blah, blah. The cave would be interesting because Vader's dead. And the whole I am your father thing. Does Luke find out that Vader's his father? His father. That's tough to say. I would honestly be willing to venture No, if Obi-Wan and Yoda didn't deem it necessary to tell him, no, I don't think Luke learned, at least not in episode 5 anyway, not in Empire. Which is actually another thing to point out, is that the whole Lando Cloud City thing, that doesn't happen, at least not in the way it did in the series, because Han eventually does leave and goes pays his debt to Jabba. But he gives him Jabba the money. He's like, hey Jabba, here you go. Yeah, sorry about that. It took a little while, but I got caught up with this rebellion thing. He's like, Han, my boy, um. So yeah, I think Han basically gets off the hook with Jabba. I think that's the thing. He no longer has a bounty on his head because of Jabba. Jabba takes the bounty off. Maybe they have some banter and maybe he even threatens him with like Boba Fett or something. But no, yeah, he threatened. Han goes, pays him more money than he intended, and like Jabba's just like, I'm okay with this. You did what you had to do. So yeah, there's not else I can say about that. And again, the Hoth base isn't found, so I think they stay on Hoth for a long time. Now, eventually, I think they move, or maybe they get found out and then have to move. But at that point, I think they'll be fine. There's no epic battle on Hoth. Furthermore, whatever the sinister dark side is that Palpatine has gotten to replace Vader, he would not be on the same level as Vader by any stretch of the means. He would be, he'd be pretty pitiful compared to Vader. Not like he'd be weak, but like if Vader's a 10, this guy'd probably be like a 5 or a 6 at best. He'd basically be an Inquisitor level foe, which Luke, trained by both Ben and Yoda, fully trained. If they come across each other, which I don't think would happen in Empire, because I don't think that situation goes down the same way, then I don't think there's any issue with Lando or anything like that. Then yeah, I think then they don't meet, at least then. And then you go into Return of the Jedi, which Tatooine doesn't happen. Han wasn't encased in carbonite at all. Han probably does come back to the rebellion as well. There's no episode in the Space Slug. There's no Jabba's palace. Hell, Jabba's just doing his thing. Boba Fett's still doing his thing. Everyone's fine. So Luke comes back to the rebellion, doesn't lose his hand, and then eventually they hear about the second Death Star being built. That whole thing goes about the same, except now the evil force, whatever the sinister force would be, would meet Luke on Endor. They'd have a bit of a back and forth, and Luke would pretty much. Now here's the thing: would Luke get the green lightsaber? That's the thing, because he never loses the blue lightsaber. I don't think he does, honestly. I think maybe he keeps the blue lightsaber, and he would beat that guy. He would beat him dead. Now the thing is, Obi-Wan and Obi-Wan and Yoda. I think Yoda would be dead at this point because Yoda does pass away. Ben might still be alive because that's like a 5-year gap between episode 4 and 5, or episode 4 and 6. So Ben could still be alive. He'd be in his near 70s, but he'd be late 60s, early nearing 70, but he'd still be around. And with Yoda gone, he says like, look, Ben would probably be like, if you're going to face the Emperor, you'll need help. Like, Luke, my time is coming to a close. Yoda knew his, I know mine. So let me at least help you one last time in any way that I can. So him and Ben, or him and Obi-Wan, both go to confront the Emperor, who's just like, Skywalker, Obi-Wan, Master Kenobi, you did survive. And he just kind of gives him a sneering look, just, you killed my apprentice. It's like, yeah, I'm terribly sorry about that. It's just, he was so terrible. It's like, I didn't want to do it. Anakin was a good friend. I wish I could have saved him. Silence, fools! Your insolence will no longer be tolerated, and so will end the Jedi. The fight will begin, and I mean, as strong as they are, they would be at a big disadvantage. They would. But I think Luke would be strong enough at this point to more or less be able to take on these guys, to take on Palpatine with Ben's help. Without Ben's help, he'd be powerful, but he'd be like Windy versus Palpatine. It would be drawn out, but Palpatine's would be clearly toying with him. However, that doesn't mean that they're not. That doesn't mean that they wouldn't at least be putting up a good effort. And yeah, I think because also of the Emperor's frailing age, like put up a lightsaber. Lightsaber can block Force lightning. So the Force lightning between them would probably wouldn't matter. And then between the two of them, I think eventually Luke would get like maybe the killing blow in, and the Emperor would be defeated. Now, how does that translate? But I think Obi Wan would probably pass shortly after, if not get a mortal wound and then pass. So it's tough to say on that regard, but I think eventually, yeah, they would overcome the Emperor, and Ben does pass. Now, how does that affect like Force Awakens and Rogue One? Honestly, or Force Awakens, Rogue One, Force Awakens, Last Jedi, honestly, doesn't affect it at all. Does not affect it at all, because there's nothing that really happens between those times that time frame that we know about that would be affected by these events. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? Anyway, thanks. That's this what if for this week. It's not the best what if I've done, but still. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Ideas for who would win, stars, superhero, magic, what if, anything I do on the channel, put that in the comments below as well. I'll get to it at some point. This week's going to be a lot of stuff. I got another who would win tomorrow. I'll probably actually get that up on Thursday. Magic video on Thursday if I get around to it. Greatest Showman, Jumanji, to name a few that are coming out this week that I'm going to go see. So keep your eyes open for those. Thanks for watching. I'll see you folks next.